There are so many buttons on an Instant Pot, am I right? This can be really overwhelming when you're pulling it out of the box for the first time. So I'm going to walk you through what each button means, what my favorite modes are, and which ones you can ignore in my opinion. To start, let's touch on the center part of the panel, so everything right here. For every recipe you make, you will need to determine whether or not it is being cooked on high pressure or low pressure. To change this, you press the pressure level button.
You use the pressure level button to change back and forth between high and low pressure.
When you are starting a recipe, you first press one of the outer buttons, which we will cover in a little bit, and then you'll press the pressure level button and set the pressure, which, by the way, should always be stated in any recipe you make. If a recipe does not state which pressure level you should be using, use the high pressure setting as default, since that is what is most often used. Typically, the only time the low pressure setting is used is when you cook delicate foods such as non-hearty vegetables like broccoli or green beans, also with fish or seafood, custards, or puddings. Make sure the light above the Keep Warm button is on if you wish to keep your food warm after your food has finished cooking. Use the Delay Start button in order to delay the start time of your recipe. This works great when you want things just to be finishing up cooking as you step in the door. If you've selected one mode of cooking and wish to switch to a different mode, you will need to press the Cancel button first. An example would be if you are sauteing food before it gets pressure cooked, you would press Sauté, cook the food, cancel, then select the appropriate mode you wish to use for doing the remainder of the cooking. Or if for some reason you need to quickly stop cooking, press the Cancel button. Like the high and low pressure settings, the less, normal, and more options will appear on the digital screen along with the cook time remaining.
Here you see the Duo model. These settings function the same way for the Duo and the Duo Plus. To change the setting, press the pressure cook button.
You will almost always leave the setting at normal. We will cover some exceptions for this in a little bit. Like I mentioned, the first button you will press on your pot will be one of the outermost buttons. So let's go over what each of those buttons mean and when you should use them. Pressure cook manual button. Let's talk about this first because it is the setting you will use most of the time. The magic happens when you cook in this mode. If a recipe does not state which mode you need to cook a recipe in, this button is the default. Once you select pressure cook, on some pots it's called manual. Use the plus and minus buttons to adjust both the pressure levels and the cook time. This applies to every mode you will use. The order is mode selection, pressure level, and then cook time. The yogurt button. The main purpose of this button is to make yogurt, obviously. After pressing the yogurt button, use the plus and minus buttons to select normal. Low in this mode is used to make fermented rice, and high is used to make pasteurized milk. Instant Pot yogurt is actually really delicious, so I do recommend experimenting with this button if you are a yogurt lover. Sterilize button. This mode is used to sterilize things such as jars and baby bottles. Steam button. Yes, you can even steam food in an Instant Pot. This mode is meant for more delicate foods such as vegetables and fish. Always use a steamer basket or a trivet when steaming in order to keep the food off the bottom of the pot. When steaming vegetables, use less mode, and when steaming fish or seafood, use normal mode. Porridge button. Honestly, I've never used this button. It is meant for making porridge or oatmeal, but I personally prefer using the pressure cook setting for making oatmeal. It always turns out so great, so I haven't seen a need to use the porridge setting. Multigrain button. This setting has a built-in timer for pre-soaking foods. It works great for tougher types of rice such as wild rice, as well as whole grains. If you opt to have your grain pre-soaked, be sure to use this in conjunction with the more setting. Rice button. This is my second favorite mode of all. When you use this setting to make rice, it comes out perfectly every single time. Soup broth button. Use this mode when you make any type of soup or broth. There is intelligence built into the pot that allows the soup to cook at a slow simmer, resulting in a clear and very flavorful liquid. Meat stew button. I cook most of my meat using the pressure cook setting, but this mode is best when you are cooking really large cuts of meat at high pressure. Bean chili button. This mode is great when you are cooking beans along with a liquid, which is typically the case when making chili. The setting ensures that the beans will not get mushy during the cooking process. Cake button. This is my third favorite mode of all, as it produces the most moist and dense cake you will ever imagine. This mode contains serious magic. Use it for making cakes and cheesecakes. Egg button. My personal favorite way to cook hard or soft-boiled eggs in an Instant Pot is by using the pressure cook setting. If for some reason you find yourself with extra large eggs, this egg setting can handle cooking them best. Slow cook setting. It's a miracle, right? Not only can the Instant Pot pressure cook your food perfectly, it can also slow cook food. Use a glass lid when using this mode to trap heat and steam in the pot, and also to avoid spattering. Use less when you're aiming for a low 8-hour cook time, normal for a medium 6-hour cook time, and more for a high 4-hour cook time. Sauté button. One of the things I love most about the Instant Pot is that you can sauté food in the same pot the pressure cooking is done in. This means fewer dishes, less cleanup, and it just simplifies the entire cooking process. The sauté function heats up quickly and cooks foods very evenly. Use this mode in the same way you would use a skillet on a stovetop. So for things like sautéing ground meat, sautéing veggies, searing the outside of a cut of meat, and even simmering and boiling liquids. One situation I found where this function comes in really handy is when I've pressure cooked a recipe that contains a liquid such as a gravy or a thick sauce. If I remove the lid and see that the sauce or gravy isn't as thick as I'd like it to be, I set it to sauté and maybe add a flour or cornstarch slurry and let it thicken up while it simmers. That covers all of the functions and settings on your Instant Pot. I'm also including bonus guides along with these videos that you can refer to at any time that will help walk you through which functions to use and when. Have fun creating recipes in your Instant Pot, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.